with us famous Pakistani singer Bilal Saeed, who stands as an example of how music knows no borders. He has taken the musical world by storm with his numbers like Bari and Adhi Raat, and he's creating a sensation with his latest Umbrella. Welcome, Bilal. Thanks for talking to the Tribune.
Thank you very much for having me.
My first question: why have you called this song Umbrella when it is like primarily mostly Punjabi?
That's a good question, actually. So why we call it umbrella song? Because as you've seen the video, so
Yes.
it starts with the folk tune, which is I think the song is called Chhatri Di Chan. So
Yeah.
I didn't want to call it Chhatri because then people could they can think it's the same song because I made a whole new song. So
Mhm.
I thought let's call it umbrella song.
Okay. Is it to reach out to the new generation, the millennials, or
Well,
because of the fact that you are based in UK?
no, actually, I won't deny the fact that yeah, all the artists who've been in the game for a decade. Because myself, I started in 2011, 12. My first album came out. So after a decade, it's all about evolving yourself, how the recent time works. So I think yeah, probably we did try to go for a catchy name which can attract the younger audience.
So, as a rule, how much time it takes you to create this number?
To be very honest, creating any sort of art, there कोई उसका खास pattern तो है नहीं, ना कोई
Mhm.
formula. It works in mysterious ways and in different ways all the time. So sometimes you write your lyrics first, sometimes it's just the thought, sometimes it's the beat. But specifically this one, it was so I was approached to make a track for a campaign, for a brand, and they wanted me to do something like blend some folk with the recent music. So when I made it, so I realized that actually it should be a proper song, not just part of some campaign and then just vanish.
And how much are you inspired by Punjabi folk?
Oh, like my music is all about folk melodies and very much influence from uh, hip hop, like mainstream hip hop. So it has always been the case with my music because I grew up listening to Nasrat Ali Khan Sahab, then Reshma ji. I'm always inspired by folk voices, so I was always intrigued to listen to folk music. But then, of course, being when I won't include myself as I'm still young because when they say when you cross your 30s you're supposed to act like a man, which is really hard for me because I still have that child so alive inside me. So yeah, I was also into hip hop music, so I think that's how I created what I create.
And you've collaborated a number of times with Indian singers, with Neha Kakkar, Dr. Chewis, and in this also you have Fateh Singh, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So how does it feel, jamming with your counterparts in India?
It feels amazing, to be very honest. From the very first day, I have received a lot of love, a lot of support from Indian fans, and they've been with me throughout. And especially working with these artists, it was more, to be very honest, it was more like a uh, it was more like a very meaningful thing. Not just doing a music, but actually the way music connects people. It really inspires me. Like
Hmm.
मतलब किसी भी ना तो लैंग्वेज की कोई बैरियर्स होते हैं ना कोई
Hmm.
और. It's just music, the way it connects, it always gives me um, the a purpose that why I'm actually doing this. Because sometimes you ask yourself the question that why am I decided to be a musician and I'm writing songs. um, because if of course if it was just for the sake of doing something in life, you could do 10 different things. You could be a businessman, you could be a cricketer, pilot, or so many things. I did try to be a cricketer, but I think in a very early stage, I realized that it's not my cup of tea.
So when did you realize that you were meant to be a singer?
So basically, I was in my school and I realized that um, I was always listening to music. So I used to get pocket money and I used to spend all that money to buy cassettes. At that time, they were cassettes, and then CDs were coming in. So I used to just buy cassettes and listen to, and I used to memorize all the lyrics, and I was always like singing all the songs throughout. When we play a song, so I'll just sing along. Then somehow I met somebody and I asked that how I want to be a singer, so how can I become a singer? So that person actually, he was my cousin's best friend who was faking it in front of us to be a singer. So he had long hair back then. So he was a cool guy. So he said, if you want to be a singer, you should write songs. And I just started writing songs when I was in school. So that's how it started.
And you were talking about how music, knows no language, no barriers. But do you miss those days when you were, part of Punjabi film like Daddy Cool, Munde Fool, Daddy Cool, and
Monday,
what's the uh,
Daddy Cool Monday Fool. Yeah.
Daddy Cool, Munde Fool, and also when your song Khair Mangdi was, part of the Hindi film Bar Bar Dekho. Do you miss those days and when there was this closer, greater interaction between Indian and Pakistani artists?
I do miss that. I'm going to be very honest because um, because look, like my 70%, I would say, not even 60% fan base is in India, and
Mm.
of course, Daddy Cool Munde Fool was way like that opportunity came in a very early stage of my career, and in that time you're like everybody's talking about who's this new kid, and you just making waves. Uh, but Khair Mangdi was a very major, um, what do you call that? It was a huge moment for me to because Katrina was my favorite actress at once. I was like I was a big fan because I saw and then Karan Johar's big name in Dharma Productions and all that. So it felt amazing actually. You work so hard to be somewhere and you finally see that it has started happening, and so many other artists like Atif Aslam and Rahat and so many other people who've achieved so much through a Bollywood platform. So you always look up to the same, you follow the footsteps, and okay, surely it's gonna happen now. And then um, you know sometimes just things are a bit complicated because how the world works, which I completely don't understand. But I think it is what it is. You just have to sit down and wait.
But do you think art should be kept separate from politics?
I think 100%. If you take away the freedom from artists to express, because artists, through art, they reflect what's going on in the society, and actually they promote the culture, the love, and so many other things. But when you involve politics and other like personal agendas into it, definitely it doesn't just hit the artist community, it actually hits on so many other levels to the normal people as well.
So how do you look at the moments like recently the Indian and Pakistani fans were all grooving to the famous Pakistani song Pasudi, and the
Yeah.
videos went viral. So how do you as an artist, how do you feel when you encounter such heartening moments?
To be very honest, before Pasuri,
Mm.
I personally have been feeling it since my career started, but especially with the song I did with Momina Bari. That before Pasuri, that was the song which actually connected these two generations in a very warm way. Like if you go and listen to the Bari and you see in the comments, actually people from India and Pakistan, they're posting
Yes.
Indian flag and then heart and then Pakistani flag, and that was like wow. And then I relived that moment. I was in England. I was just somewhere, and then I heard all, like majority of the crowd, they was Indians. Then I relived that moment through Pasuri as well, and it feels great. See, that's very it feels like, it gives you a purpose to do music. So that, as I mentioned before, it's really fascinating for me, because we grew up listening to a lot of stuff which has happened in the past between these two countries. But then when you see people are connecting on such a, like a 3-minute song, and just connects the whole world together, you feel like, wow, this is so magical, this is so powerful.
And Bari has been quite a sensation. I mean, it has won for 57 million views or something. But how much do views matter to an artist?
Well, to be very honest, they do matter. um but yes, that's not, for example, if I personally like a song, for example, there's a song called Kubul, um which, in the video we featured Sabah Kamar, who's such a great actor.
Yes.
So I don't know, somehow we did not really gain a lot of views on the YouTube, but I do feel that song is underrated, but that song is still close to my heart. It's still one of my favorites. So I th- th- views do matter, of course. When you get appreciation for your work in any field, it makes you feel happy. And numbers are like, it's a sure thing that these many people have listened to your song. So that's like fulfilling, um, because you have done something for people, and it's finally getting to them, and they're listening to it, and they can relate to it. So they do matter. Yeah.
But success of such numbers as Bari and Adirat, does it also put a pressure on your shoulders, to create a hit every time? I mean, you can't hit the bullseye each time.
Uh, yeah, so I always reflect on how I started, and in the beginning, you have nothing to lose. You're just a teenager who's so passionate to you. You're like, you have so much confidence. You're like, I'm gonna smash the system and this and that. And then you come up with the song, and luckily, you've been blessed enough that your first song is a worldwide hit. And uh, from that moment till today, I always felt pressure. Um, but I think it's very important to be true to your art and to be true to yourself. That's the only way to deal with it, and especially with the time, it's a very tricky thing, because
Hmm.
time changes very quickly. And for example, if people gave so much love to the first album, and it had so many heartbroken songs like Aditi Raat, so then they expect you to write the same sort of songs, but you're not the same person anymore. You have evolved with time, and now you're a different person. So for example, when I do a lot of experiments with my look too, so my fans are still asking me to go for this first look, which is long hair, and I don't know, like I don't feel like doing it. So yeah, it's challenging, and I'm actually I'm a very big fan of Shah Rukh Khan, because the way, um I think his story is very inspiring. So if Shah Rukh Khan can feel the pressure, I think, who are we?
Oh, you are a big fan of Shah Rukh Khan, a big fan of any Indian singer?
Yeah, so many of them. I think Arijit is exceptional. He is amazing. I think Arijit is so good. I'm a huge fan of Kailash Kher. So many. I mean, of course, we grew up listening to all of the Indian artists and
Hmm.
Pakistani artists. So it's a mixture of here and there and everything.
And as a Pakistani Punjabi, do you relate to Indian Punjab?
Yeah, a lot actually. But the only difference is, I think, in Indian Punjab, I feel like they have owned Punjab, the culture, the language, in a more hardcore way than us. Because over here, um, it has a, when I started doing music, so people only used to relate Punjabi music to Bhangra music. So when you're singing in Punjabi, they used to think, oh, it's a Bhangra artist, and I used to get pissed. I was like, no, I don't do Bhangra songs. My genre is completely different. But it's amazing to see how they have upgraded their game to another level, and that's actually, um, inspiring for even us on this side of Punjab. That because I sometimes feel like um, all these years it's only me or one or two more artists who are just trying to be on the trying to make the same visuals or on a same level and try to upgrade and evolve how recent music is working. But I think yeah, so I we do relate to that Punjab side very well.
But Punjabi music is a rage in India. It is the same in Pakistan. How big is it?
It is actually now. It is now.
Because
But
it's
we
good.
always have Urdu music side by side.
Mhm.
Always,
Mhm.
always.
Urdu rap, I believe, is growing.
Yeah, it's the new generation. Their music is very cool, I would say. And actually, when you look back at time, and sometimes you don't even know what you've done. So my first track was Barasa, which was a hip hop and folk, and I did not even realize what I did in Barasa. It's like what the music that's happening now, because it had more of a flow than melody. So it's like ਦੁਬਗਈਆਂ ਵਿੱਚ ਤਲਾਂ ਦੇ ਸੱਸੀਆਂ ਰਾਂਝੇ ਜੋਗੀ ਹੋਏ ਸੀਨੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਜਾਗੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ. That's like now. That's current. And
Right.
when I realized that, I was like, wow, that was way ahead of time, and I did not even know what have I done. So yeah, the new generation, their music is really cool. Even the rap music, I think it's even growing very fast in India as well. I think it's everywhere, India, Pakistan, especially these days. I think Afro music is doing very good too.
So, apart from collaborating with Punjabi singers, if you listen to any of them in this part of the country, and who would be your favorite here?
There's so many artists. Like I've worked with Neha. Um, I think I'm gonna surprise my fans with a very the collaboration probably that nobody expecting. So I won't mention the name. That's
No,
coming very
please,
soon.
please do.
That's no, it's too early to mention about it because until it's done, you cannot speak about it because sometimes things don't work when you talk about them. So yeah, but so many artists. I would love to compose a song for Arijit, um, and ask him to sing it. So many artists, like the rappers from India, even from Punjab side. There's so many artists I would love to work with.
And you also wrote a heartfelt tribute for Sidhu Moosewala. You met him as well? I mean, was he a friend?
So basically, first of all, he did inspire me a lot with his music. Then we got in touch, and actually we worked on a song together. Um, but we could not finish it. So I'm not sure what's going to happen with the song. But yes, like it hit me really hard. What happened to Sidhu? Like literally, it was hard for me to digest. Even the whole country, everybody
Yes.
in Pakistan was like everywhere. So yeah, that did hit me hard, to be honest.
Anything particular you remember about him? And do we ever get to see the song or listen to it?
Well, I think because the trauma it's such a tragic thing. I don't have the audacity to talk about the song to his family because
Mhm.
I feel like the loss is so big. So I did not even talk about it. But I remember when we spoke the first time. So he mentioned it to me. They were like, bro, ਅਸੀਂ ਛੋਟੇ ਛੋਟੇ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਸੀ ਤੇ ਤੁਹਾਡਾ
Mhm.
ਗਾਣਾ ਟੀਵੀ ਤੇ ਆਂਦਾ ਸੀ. And he called it me wala gana, barish wala gana. तो
Mhm.
मैंने सोचा चलो गाना कौन सा है. तो देन आई रियलाइज कि वो आधी आधी रात की बात कर रहा था जब उसके स्टार्ट में बारिश होती है. So yeah, he's such a like when we spoke over the phone a few times, and as I mentioned, we were working on the song. He seemed very genuine, very humble guy, very nice energy.
And living in UK, how has that country influenced you, especially your musical sensibilities?
I think it's you know being in the UK, sometimes it gets hard because you have to perform a lot in Pakistan too, and but it's just because you get to listen to the more international stuff, and because nowadays, especially through the social media, you can do a lot. So I think every artist, they just want to grow more and more and grow their fan base. So I'll be experimenting a lot with what's going on internationally too.
But what is the biggest challenge for a singer, especially if you're not in India? If you're not a Bollywood singer, independent music brings its own challenges. So what about you?
I think it's a blessing in disguise at the same time when you actually compose and write and produce your own songs, which is a good thing. And sometimes it does get challenging uh, because if you are, for example, like Arijit or any other artist who sings in Bollywood a lot, so the best composers, the best producers, the best actors, the best directors, they all work for you, and you just have to give your voice, and then that's it. But on the other hand, for example, myself, so I have to not just write the song, but then on the other side, it's this is where I feel the charm, because I love it when I create something which is nice. So it just gives you a very beautiful feeling. So yeah, it does get challenging sometimes. Sometimes feel like, what, it would have been much easier if you just get a song and you just have to sing it.
But from where you get inspiration to write the songs?
It can come from anywhere. It can come from anywhere. Like sometimes you're driving, sometimes you're taking shower, sometimes just playing piano, sometimes you're in a party. I don't know. It just sometimes it's just a thought. But yeah, I actually get very inspired by the people who write. Like जैसे शायर होते हैं, तो मैं कल ही सुन रहा था फराज अहमद फराज साहब को, and I was just thinking, यार ये कैसे लिखा है इन्होंने. It's just
Absolutely.
another level.
Mm.
But that shows actually they understood emotions, um to the मतलब उस डेप्थ में जाके उनको वो इमोशंस को एलेबरेट करके अंडरस्टैंड करके एक्सप्रेस कर सकते हैं कि इंसान कहता है शिट आई डिड नॉट इवन थिंक लाइक दिस. सो दैट शोज कि वो कितने इमोशनली इंटेलिजेंट और कितने सेंसिटिव लोग होते होंगे जो अच्छा लिखते हैं. सो मुझे हमेशा बहुत फैसिनेट करता है.
More than singers, it's writers who impress you more.
I think rappers, because they talk about
No,
real
no, I
stuff.
writers. Do writers impress you more than
Yeah.
singers?
um I I think there's no comparison, but still writing something is like, because it's a very um how do I say it? It's a very simple and straightforward way to express what you're feeling. Because through sing, if you don't have the words, so through singing you can um you can express through your melody. So melody, not everybody can understand the emotion, but lyrics are like, it's a very straightforward thing, and you are actually connecting on a very personal level with people. So writing something that everybody feels like, oh damn, that's me.
Mm.
So for example, एक line मैंने कहीं पढ़ी थी नेट पे, and I don't know who wrote it. I would try to figure it out. But वो था, जो जो बातें पी गया था मैं, वो बातें खा गई मुझको. And
Wow.
भाई वाह, जब
Yeah.
आप अपने जिंदगी में मेच्योरिटी की तरफ जाते हैं, फॉर एग्जांपल, आई वुड टॉक अबाउट माई सेल्फ. सो प्रॉब्ली मेरे साथ जो कुछ चीजें हुई होंगी जिंदगी के अप्स एंड डाउन्स में, शायद उस टाइम पे तो मैंने बस हंसी खेल में, मजाक दोस्तों के साथ बैठ के और जैसे तैसे प्रेशर लेके डर के जैसे भी गुजार दिए. बट नाउ आई थिंक दे डू हिट मी back, and I feel like, oh shit, man, you know what? That was not fair. And that wasn't nice. That was unkind. So कुछ ऐसी चीजें, so वो शेर मेरे बार बार दिमाग में आता है कि जो बातें पी गया था, बातें खा गई मुझको.
So, anything you have written lately, and if you would like to share?
अच्छा
गा
मेरी
के
एक बहुत
तो और भी अच्छा है.
अच्छा एक बहुत बुरी आदत मेरी ये है कि मैं मोस्ट ऑफ द टाइम अपने मजे के लिए ही कुछ गा देता हूँ, नए गाने भी कुछ और कुछ शेर भी, और फिर
हाँ.
मैं उनको लिखता नहीं हूँ। आई डोंट सेव देम। प्रॉब्ली अगर मैं अपने फोन के नोट्स में जाऊंगा तो शायद कहीं मुझे कुछ
Okay.
अ, नया मिल जाए, बट अभी कुछ शेर नया, कोई ताजा ताजा शेर मुझे याद नहीं है।
And what would be on your playlist? Something that you listen to on a loop?
So I've been listening to there's a song, Baby Calm Down, da, 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 da. That song, and then I'm listening to AP Dylan's track, Dil Nu. कोल ही है तू तावी लगे मैनू तू. uh, I think these two tracks. और मेरी आदत है जब मुझे कोई गाना अच्छा लगे तो मैं उसको 100 बार, 200 बार, 5, जब तक मेरा उस दिल नहीं भरे मैं उसको सुनता रहता हूँ, रिपीट पे. And I've been listening to my upcoming album, which is coming on, which is hopefully, inshallah, fingers crossed, coming in December. And उसके जब because when you are जिसको बोलते हैं मिक्सिंग मास्टरिंग का प्रोसेस होता है, so you have to listen to it a lot. तो वो जब पूरा गाना एक फाइनल मिक्स आपको सुनते हैं आप, so, you know, और वो अगर अच्छा भी लग रहा है आपको, and you feel like yeah this song is gonna work, so you listen to it a lot, and it's such a good feeling. So I'm listening to my album. आप मैंने इतनी सुन ली है कि आई थिंक जब एल्बम रिलीज होगी तो मैं बिल्कुल नहीं सुनूंगा.
तो उसमें से कुछ सुना दीजिए हमें.
अच्छा अनरिलीज तो कुछ नहीं सुना सकता आपको, बट
Just 2 lines.
क्या
2 लाइनें
सुनाऊं,
बहुत होंगी ना.
क्या सुनाऊं. So एक्चुअली कुछ खास माइंड में आ नहीं रहा.
चलो
जस्ट
फिर
लाइक,
जिधर भी आ रहे हैं वो सुना दो, कोई बारी का सुना दो.
अच्छा मैं आपको एल्बम का मैं फर्स्ट सिंगल सुनाता हूँ, which is called मट्टी दा खडोना. उसकी मैं 2 लाइन सुनाता हूँ. हम्म, साडे जज्बातां दी ना कर परवाह, असी जानिए ते साडा जाने खुदा, तोड़िया तू दिल कोई होवेगी वजह, तेनू हक खुशियां दा तेरी नहीं खता, असी की करांगे तू ना सोची सोहणीए नी सानू आंदा दुख गीतां च लुकाउणा, समझ सानू मिट्टी दा खडोणा, मिट्टी दा खडोणा, मिट्टी दा खडोणा सोहणीए, के टुट के भी असां केड़ा रोना, असां केड़ा रोना, असां केड़ा रोना सोहणीए.
Well, very nice. And so heartbreak is often the theme of your songs. Is it personal or it's like experiences of others?
To be very honest, I thought about it. बट बहुत सारे लोग, मुझे लगता है ऐसा नहीं है कि मैंने सिर्फ हार्ट ब्रेकिंग सॉन्ग गाए. आई थिंक जो मेरे बहुत मशहूर गाने हैं उनमें से 2 नंबर, not a and this song called Cuckoo, it's not a sad song. And No Makeup is not a sad song. And Snapchat Story is not a sad song. So many songs are not sad songs. Lethal Combination is not a sad song. But I guess when I sing a sad song, that soothes my voice a lot. I
And
think somehow they, my watch is interrupting. Sorry about that. So I think people love it when I sing sad songs. So they want me to sing more sad songs. और कहीं ना कहीं मेरी आवाज में बहुत दर्द है जो पता नहीं किधर से आया है, क्योंकि मुझे
but you haven't answered my question whether heartbreak is personal or just
नहीं, मुझे
literary.
मुझे टू बी वेरी ऑनेस्ट मुझे याद नहीं पड़ता कि मेरा मेरा कभी किसी लड़की ने दिल तोड़ा हो, या किसी अ, मतलब मुझे याद नहीं पड़ता कि मैं, और जो जो मेरी ड्रीम जिंदगी में रही हैं, अल्हम्दुलिल्लाह वो मैंने अचीव की हैं. And I'm on my way. So I think kuch aisa hua nahi ki yaar, oh shit. I think it's just me being sensitive. That's what adds. So whatever is going on around me, I will feel it. I can feel. हाँ, अगर मैंने किसी का दिल तोड़ा है तो शायद वो भी मैं फील कर सकता हूँ कि शिट मैंने बहुत किसी को दर्द हुआ होगा, किसी का दिल टूटा होगा. So I think or I think pain is a very, or being feeling sad, or um, feeling pain. I don't think it's a bad emotion, to be honest. I feel it's something which helps you in so many ways to find yourself, to be honest. Or it's just कि हमने क्योंकि this is how it's been forwarded to us, that actually only being happy is a good emotion. I think all emotions are valuable and we are here to experience all of them. So I actually, to be honest, pretty much I don't try to come out of any emotion I'm feeling. I just live in the moment.
Where do you see Bilal 10 years from now?
Oh my God. I I don't I would be really happy if 10 years from now, if I'm truly and fearlessly being myself. I would love that.
And would you define myself?
Well, I still need to figure it out.
ਤੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਪੰਜਾਬੀ ਬੋਲ ਲੈਂਦੇ ਹੋ?
ਪੰਜਾਬੀ ਤੇ ਬੋਲਨੇ ਸਾਰਾ ਦਿਨ ਤੇ ਯਾਰਾਂ ਦੋਸਤਾਂ ਨਾਲ ਬਹਿ ਕੇ ਪੰਜਾਬੀ ਚ ਚੁੱਕਦਾ.
ਤੇ ਆਪਣੇ ਇੰਡੀਆ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਪੰਜਾਬੀ ਫੈਨਸ ਹੈ ਨੂੰ ਸੇ ਸਮਥਿੰਗ ਫॉर them in ਪੰਜਾਬੀ.
ਮੈਂ ਬੜੇ ਦਿਲ ਤੋਂ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਸਭ ਦਾ ਸ਼ੁਕਰੀਆ ਅਦਾ ਕਰਨਾ ਚਾਹਨਾ. ਤੁਸੀਂ ਥਰੂ ਆਊਟ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਸਪੋਰਟ ਕੀਤਾ ਹੈ ਔਰ ਹਮੇਸ਼ਾ ਹੀ ਜਦੋਂ ਵੀ ਸਾਡੀ ਮੇਰੀ ਮੁਲਾਕਾਤ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਹੈ ਪੰਜਾਬੀ ਆਰਟਿਸਟਾਂ ਨਾਲ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਇੰਡੀਆ ਦੇ ਨੇ ਜਾਂ ਫੈਨਸ ਨਾਲ, ਬੜਾ ਦਿਲ ਨੂੰ ਅੱਛਾ ਲੱਗਦਾ ਹੈ. ਔਰ ਮੇਰਾ ਪੈਗਾਮ ਹੈ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਕਿ ਆਈ ਨੋ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਬੜੇ ਟਾਈਮ ਤੋਂ ਮਿਸ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਹੋ that I should make more music ਤੇ ਇਨਸ਼ਾਅੱਲਾ ਨਵਾਂ ਐਲਬਮ ਆ ਰਿਹਾ.